There we go. Y'all are gonna have to ignore my face breaking out. I've been cooking a lot, and unfortunately, the oil's been splashing a little bit on my face. I think that's the main problem. I haven't been live or made a video in so long, it feels like. I don't even know if people are going to join into this because it's such a strange time to go live. Like, kind of during dinner, but I already ate dinner because it's like 7 here. But yeah, I'm gonna be working on some dolls while I chat with y'all. So we'll see how long this live is. I don't plan to be live for like super long because there's a game I want to watch in like 2 hours. I've gotten really into watching basketball recently, so um, I've been just so busy, y'all. I feel so bad. I haven't made a video in over a month. And then on top of that, like I haven't even gone live. So usually if I don't have a video, I typically would go live, but it's been crazy. Um, just trying to I bought a new car, like all kinds of things have been going on recently since I've gotten back from my winter break. I took a winter vacation. We get paid. I can't remember the last video I made if it was before or after I came back from that break. I think it was after. I think I remember talking about how well it went and seeing my dad and all of that. I believe I talked about that. So it must have been after. But right now I'm working on two dolls. This is Jamie, gonna be in a dark skin tone. And then I'm also working on my second toddler ever. Um, my very first toddler was like 2 years ago, and it was Ariana Asleep by Riva Schick. I think that's how you say her last name. Um, and it was when I first basically started reborning, kind of like that midway point, and it was a lot of work. And I just decided I didn't want to make toddlers. But like I said, I bought a car, and honestly, I've been getting people asking if I'll make toddlers a lot. Like more often than not, people are asking if I'm taking on toddlers, if I'm doing toddler customs, and so for years I've been saying no, but now I'm definitely moving towards yes because um I I I really want to pay off this car quicker than not. um Essentially I bought a new car, not that I really needed to. My car was still in perfectly good condition. In fact, I traded it in, which was great because it helped with the payments. Um, but I wanted something newer. I needed something that had more safety features. Like the Forester I had before was a 2013. So it was 10 years old at that point. So I got a 2020 Crosstrek now that I love, and it's much better. But the title of this live, and I'm going to keep talking about it, is as artists and like collectors, I feel like we have to be honest with ourselves. And I'm going to take that a few different ways. And so I moderate a Reborning for Beginners group, as y'all may be aware. I've posted about it before and I've talked about it before. I moderate a group for beginner artists. Like the whole purpose of the group is to be helpful for beginner artists, right? So we aren't in that group, we're not expecting people to be prototype quality artists. Like that's would defeat the purpose. Like if you already know everything and your dolls are perfect, I mean, you can stay in the group to help others, but you're not going to be typically at the same level as everyone else in that group. So I mean, that's like the whole purpose. So that group is great. I love being in it because I'm learning still like so much. I still very much consider myself a beginner artist, and I am very aware of the quality and the level of my work, and I don't try to say something that it's not. Um, anyway, there was something that happened in that group today, and I've been thinking about this recently as well because someone else in a different group that I'm not like a moderator of, I'm just a part of on Facebook. Someone else made a post that later on got deleted because people don't like talking about the truth or being honest with each other in this community. And so the post that also made me think that I should maybe talk about this is she was posting about how more and more we're seeing these dolls that are being overpriced for the quality of work that they are. And this has been going on for years. Personally, I've seen this happening for years. And it's true. I've been more and more lately, I've been seeing dolls priced way higher than I could imagine. Like, I've been seeing dolls that should be priced around like $400. I've been seeing people post them for like $1,000. Like, it's not, to me as a normal collector, and I've been around, y'all know I've been collecting on and off since 2012. So I've been around the block. I am not new here. I'm a newer artist, but I am not new to this like collecting these type of dolls. For me to say that art is subjective and that these people can price things however they want, I think that's a cop out. I think that's a load of crap, honestly. I don't think that that's true. I think we're lying to ourselves if we say that art is only subjective and that these people can just price their dolls however they want and it doesn't matter because that's what they think their dolls are worth. And the reason I say that is if that were true, if reborn painting and being a reborn artist was purely subjective and not um, it doesn't matter, we wouldn't have prototype artists. Like we literally wouldn't be able to have reborn contests and it just wouldn't work because if it was purely subjective, we wouldn't be able to say, "Hey, this is a well-painted doll versus this being a poorly painted doll." Like that wouldn't exist if it was just as simple as saying that art is subjective and there's the reborn dolls are worth whatever the person says they are. It just wouldn't make any sense to say that and be true. So that's what I mean when I'm like, there's no way that we can sit back and tell ourselves that reborning is whatever we want it to be. So my point, like, and so this person, bless her heart, essentially she posted that she had tried to reach out to a sculptor and wanted to do a prototype, and I as a moderator was gently trying to prod her into realizing that she may not be at that level yet. And I know that sculptor, that particular sculptor is only wanting high level prototype quality artists to try to get a prototype with her. She's a very, very popular artist. She doesn't want even like and for me personally, I don't even think her work is that bad. I wasn't saying to this lady that her work was bad. That's not what I'm saying. I was saying that we have to be honest with where we are in our artistic journey. And from my perspective, and anyone else who's being honest with this lady will see by looking at her work that she's definitely not at the level of being a prototype artist or being selected. So the few people that were commenting were trying to be nice and were like, "Oh, good luck, good luck." And I'm like, "We what is the point of this group if we're not going to be honest with each other to try to encourage each other to improve?" Like, I am never going to be that kind of person that's going to lie to you about what I think about your dolls, because who does that serve? You're not going to get better, and then people are just going to be talking shit behind your back about the quality of your work. So it serves no purpose that we've built a community and we're all just lying to these artists. Um, and I mean, I know where I am in my reborning, and that's why you don't see me trying to enter prototype contests, because I know I'm not at that level. And that's just where I know I am in my skill level. And I'm not going to try to push the line and be delusional essentially about where I am in my reborning world, like in my reborning art form. I'm not the worst artist and I'm not the best artist, and I don't claim to be either one of those. And so for me, it's more and more over the years, people get afraid to say, hey, maybe, just maybe, your work is not the top level of quality that would be expected when you hear prototype. Because 99% of the people in this reborn community, when you hear prototype quality, you think of the highest level of artistry, the highest level of realism. If you're talking about a regular reborn, like a regular reborn doll, you're thinking of the highest level of realism. Or if you're like a fantasy doll, you're thinking of the highest level of execution. Because just because a doll is a fantasy doll doesn't mean there's not well done fantasy dolls and poorly painted fantasy dolls. So this person, like I said, her work is not bad. No one was saying her work was bad, but of course, that's the way people are going to automatically take things, because they don't know how to deal with criticisms and use it as something that encourages them rather than something that's discouraging them. Um, and so her work's not bad. Her work's just not top level. And a lot of people would say, hey, Sean, who are you to say, or who do you to judge, or who do you to claim that her work is not prototype level? Like I said, been around the block over a decade here. I know what that artist, that sculptor is looking for quality level. And if you saw this individual's work and compared it to the other prototypes that this sculptor has selected previously, it doesn't take someone a certain level of skill level to see that there's a big difference in the quality of the work that is normally chosen by this sculptor. So, yes, and also it is a group I moderate, so I feel like as a moderator I'm supposed to be helping, right? And it's not helping to lie to someone and say, oh yeah, good luck, I'm sure you will get selected for this prototype, when we all know she will not be. So this is what I mean by, like, we have to stop this idea of, if you're saying something, it's being rude. Just because someone says something that you don't like, it doesn't make it rude. Like, unless they're straight up saying, "Hey, your work is crap." Like, there's constructive ways to say things, and then there's deconstructive ways to say something. I commented, "Hey, this sculptor is looking for the highest level um skill level and someone who's very experienced." That's what I said. And she was like, oh, and tried to snitch on me to the other admins, of course. Um, but if someone, like, there's a difference. Like, we don't allow people to straight up say, like, your work is subpar. Like, we will not allow that. But if someone's like, hey, maybe do it this way, or here's what I learned from doing this before, like, there's no reason that we should continue to lie to people as far as saying their work is beautiful when they're like, their dolls are very, very blotchy. Like, I would be, personally, as someone who's a collector as well as an artist, I would be very, very disappointed to pay like $800 and get a doll that really should be closer to 300. Like, I personally would feel slighted because I know what I can get for my money. And if I'm trying to purchase a doll and it absolutely is not the quality that I expect and many others would expect at that price point, that's going to be disappointing. And then I'm having to tell the artist, "Hey, I'm disappointed with your work and it's horrible." It's a horrible experience for everyone. And this will happen because we're not honest with the artists in this community. And so what happens a lot of times, these people will post their work for sale and no one says anything to them about the pricing or the quality, and they sell the doll for that price. And then, like I said, people start talking bad about them behind their backs because everyone's too afraid to tell the actual artist that, hey, um, I'm sorry, but I can get this doll for this price when you're pricing your dolls for this price, and maybe it's not the same level of quality, the same level of realism. Now, not everyone collects for realism. Some people collect for dolly looking dolls, and that's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the original purpose of reborn painting, which is to make the most realistic lifelike dolls. That's what I'm talking about when I'm referring to the level of quality, is not people who want their dolls to look dolly. There's a whole that's a whole subgenre of reborn painting that I'm not referring to, because I'm not like a part of that whole scene. But that's why I think maybe art in general is subjective, but not reborn painting, because we're not the whole goal of reborn painting is not to do something that's subjectively a baby. Like you know what I mean? I'm just like ranting, but um I don't know, cut in if y'all disagree or whatever. But I think the whole purpose of reborn painting is to make the realistic a doll that looks like a realistic baby. So that way it's not subjectively you can't say, "Oh, wow, that doll is so well done. It subjectively looks like a baby if you glance at it long enough." Um, we want as artists, we want our babies to look like real babies. Like they're supposed to look lifelike, um, or close enough. So, that's why I don't think that that whole idea really applies here. Um, and I see that used as an excuse all the time. Like I've called out a few people. I'm like, why are you pricing your doll double, triple what this all these other people are? Um, and they'll say, well, art is subjective. I think my dolls are worth that. Okay, um, but your dolls also have like all these marks on them. You're using not great quality paints, and and it's almost to me it borderlines being scammy to overprice the quality of your work. It almost kind of seems like a scam, and I know that sounds harsh, but like I said, as a collector, I would be disappointed to get some of these dolls that I've seen posted at these high prices. I personally would feel slighted. I would feel like taken advantage of. Because you might not what they're targeting these artists who overprice. What they're targeting is people who don't know much about the reborn world. So they think they're getting a great deal because outside people all the time talk about how expensive these dolls are, and that's true to the average person. And so when they see a doll they like and they see a price, a lot of these newer collectors just go with that price, right? They don't know to look elsewhere otherwise and compare and contrast like you should do when you're making any major purchase. You should be looking and seeing, how does this price compare to so and so. And for example of that, like I said, I bought a new car. I'm not gonna just look at one dealership, because I would be a fool to just look at one dealership. You compare other dealership pricing, other dealership offers, when you're buying a new car. And oftentimes, like I said, new artists, new collectors don't do that with reborn dolls. So they buy an $800 doll, they're excited, they get the $800 doll, it's not great. Then now, because they're mad and upset by the quality of work they've received, they go and start looking around, and then they look on reborns.com, and then they realize, oh my gosh, I could have gotten this really, 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 really well done doll for $800, but now I have this poorly done doll for $800. I've been preyed upon. Like, I've been taken advantage of. Um, so I guess also I want people to be aware of this happening, and hopefully, I hope everyone has a good friend that'll tell them, "Hey, I think you're overpricing your work." And and like I said, we gotta move past getting offended by people trying to help us. Um, I I always price my dolls pretty low for the amount of time that I spend on them, and I feel guilty when I have to charge more for a doll, but, typically the most expensive dolls are gonna be the big ones. Like, for me, Vito, I've put in so much effort into him, which I'll show you him in a second. He's not done. He's, like, at the midway point, um, that the price is justifiable. But that's not what I mean. I'm talking about, like, newborn size. You can tell the quality is just not there. But yeah, that's like my little rant about that. I think everyone's so easy to be offended, and it's not just a reborn specific thing. Like, that's just in general. People are afraid to say anything because everyone gets offended super easily, even when the intention is not to be offensive to someone. The human response is to feel um, feel upset by comments that aren't 100% positive. Um, but like I said, it's about making your perspective a little bit different. Like, if I get a critique, unless it's rudely done, I'm not going to be um I'm not going to be upset by it because I still want to improve. Like, I'm still actively trying to improve my work. And so a constructive critique is worth so much. Like, I think of it as, thank you so much for caring about me and finding me approachable enough that you want to say to me, "Hey, here's how this could be if you do it this way." So, anyway, and then I have another rant. I love that I've come back just to rant at y'all. I swear I have other things to talk about, but I have another rant because I ran about this a few like last week on my Instagram. I have been very active still on Instagram. Um, but I have more followers here, so I also want to warn you guys on here. I don't know if this lady is still actively trying to create this website, but I'm going to straight up warn you guys. There is a woman out there who thinks it's extremely funny to make a website that she's going to try to um, make similar to reborns.com. Uh, oh, I should say what reborns.com is for people who may not know. Reborns.com it's the best site to buy a reborn doll online. It is a mass platform where hundreds of artists go and sell their dolls, and it's been around for a very long time. Very trusted website. You can read artist reviews, see their past work. You can message them without needing to have their personal information. Like, you don't have to have um, their Facebook page or any of that. You can message artists directly through reborns.com. It's great, a wonderful platform. I use it to sell, and I like it a lot. This lady is trying to create a new website that mirrors that. I have yet to see anything about her website that she's promoting that is better than reborns.com. like she is literally doing the same thing. In fact, her website is actually going to be worse than reborns.com because reborns.com allows other types of dolls like alternatives, so vampires, fairies. She she is saying that she's not going to be allowing anything but realistic reborns on her website. Now, whatever, cool. I think at first when I heard about doing this, I said, well, that's stupid because we already have reborns.com. So why would anybody need to go to your brand new site that has no reviews, is not trusted, has never like had a single sale? Like, what would be the reason that someone would choose to use your site rather than something that's already been tried and trusted? So at first, when I heard about it, like I said, I just thought, stupid. Why would you waste your money on that? Whatever. And like she tried to invite me to use it, and I was like, no, I don't want to use your site. I think it's a waste of money and a waste of your time, a waste of everyone who would try to sell on their time because it takes such a long time to build a reputable website. Um, so yeah, like I said, whatever. At first, I was just ignoring her request for me to um, use her platform and thought it was just stupid. Then I found out what she's naming this website, and I was incredibly um, hmm, disgusted. That is literally the best way to explain how I feel about this woman, about her nasty little website. I cannot believe some people have what is just simply the audacity to be how they are. I thought maybe the name of the website was just a coincidence, like a really poorly planned coincidence, until she confirmed, and I have all those screenshots, people who don't believe me. She confirmed that she named it this on purpose and thought it was funny and couldn't understand that me and many, many other people did not think it was funny. This web because I'm talking about this live probably will not have any type of advertisement on it because I'm going to straight up say what the website is called and why it's disgusting that she named her website this. She named her website Only Reborns. For those who are younger, maybe more in touch with the websites, you might know where this is going. So she named her website onlyreborns.com. I hate that I have to point this out for people, but I think it's absolutely worth talking about. And like I said, I'm always on here to warn people, tell people what's going on in the reborn world, and this is unfortunately one of the things that's happening. The website being named that is disgusting because there was a website that was primarily, I don't know if they still what it's used for nowadays, but a few years ago there's a website that's called OnlyFans. And those of you guys who aren't familiar with the content on OnlyFans, OnlyFans is a website that is for how do I put this? Promoting oneself sexually. So making videos with sexual content. So this lady, this crazy nasty little lady decided, oh my gosh, this would be a great idea. This is cute. This is funny. I'm going to name my website for reborn dolls that are supposed to be realistic representations of babies, literal infants. I think it's cute. I think it's funny to name my website for those after a sex site. I think that's a great association. Ha ha, real cute, real funny, right? Like who what normal person thinks like that? I don't know what's wrong with her, but to me, that's so nasty. That's so foul. Like, what about those two things makes you think this is a great association? So once I found out she did that intentionally, I was like, "Oh, hell no." Because we already have issues with the reborn world where people try to associate us with typically the men who abuse children and buy these dolls to abuse. I've known more than a few cases, unfortunately, where we've had to kick out people because they were buying the dolls for the sole purposes of fulfilling their messed up fantasies. So it's like, why would you further that association by naming your site that? Like, I was just outraged. I was like, not only did you name it that, it was purposeful, it was intentional. You were willingly connecting these two dots in a way that should have never, ever, ever, ever been connected. So, for those reasons, I'm going to warn you guys, please, 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 please don't use her site. I think she is questionable at the least. I cannot imagine she knows what she's doing with the site in the first place. And like her morals are very, very questionable. Like that is so questionable. And not only that, she claims that she has been an artist for 10 years. And that's why she's like, I want to make this website because I think I can do better than reborns.com, is what she literally has said. Um, her work still sucks. Speaking of quality of work, for someone who's been around for 10 years, it's not great. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe me. I don't think I'm overreacting to that. I think that is pretty nasty to name a site for something that's mostly meant to represent real babies. To name it after a website that's particularly and specifically about sex is real gross. It's real gross. You wouldn't name a children's site after that. So why would you name a website for dolls after that? Like anyone who thinks that's cool might want to reevaluate. And she like was fully like, you just don't understand my sense of humor. What kind of sick sense of humor is that? Like that is not funny. We already, like I said, we already have problems with that association in the community. So why make things worse by doing that intentionally? And so the first time I realized how I realized at first it was intentional before I straight up asked her why she named her website that. At first, I didn't think it was intentional. I thought it was like I said, a bad coincidence. And then someone was like, "Oh my god, no, Sean, look at her logo and then look at the OnlyFans logo." The font and like the coloring of the logo were pretty much the same, which by the way, I think is illegal. I don't think you can pretty much copy a website's logo and just change one of the words because it's like trademarked or whatever. Um, so LO, jokes on her. I don't think that's even allowed to happen. So her channel, I mean her page will probably get taken down, or uh, she'll get a very nice letter in the mail if it does start to take off. She'll get a nice little letter that says, "Hey, you're infringing on our copyright. Thanks. Stop it." But yeah, so when someone told me to look up and compare her logo and the logo for OnlyFans, I was like, "Oh hell no. There's no way this isn't intentional." And then like I said, I straight up asked her on her post when cuz she's been posting about it on all the reborn groups and Facebook and trying to invite people to join the stupid in website. Um I commented on that post like why did you name your site that? More importantly, like, why did you name your site that? And that's when she straight up owned up to it and was like, "Oh, I think it's funny to name things after sex site." Um, yeah. So people are gross is the conclusion of that. And like I said, be aware that that's going to be out there. And personally, as an artist and a collector, I wouldn't want to be associated with that page. Um, it's gonna leave a bad. It's just, ugh. And she was so snippy about it too. She was like real bitchy about it, about because it wasn't just me. Like it really, I would understand if it was one thing, like it was just me saying how gross that is, but it wasn't. Other people who, when I pointed out like the connection and that she did it intentionally, other people were like, "Are you kidding me? She did what? She named her site what?" So it's really not it's not just me who's bothered by the association. Um, and I can't imagine many artists are going to want to be many legitimate artists, I should say. I don't think many legitimate artists, professional artists, are going to be wanting to be associated with a doll site that's named after a sex site. I mean, like she might as well have named it Reborn Hub, if you know what I mean. So, like, yeah, she was one step away from doing that. Like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say it. Maybe I shouldn't give her any ideas. But she's like one step away from naming it that. And everyone knows what the other hub is. So, um, I think she was hoping that either people were going to be having her gross sense of humor, or that mostly because a lot of the people in the reborn community are older. I think she was hoping that no one would realize what she was doing, naming it that. So just bad vibes all around with that site. Also, she was upset and confused that the owner of reborns.com removed her and her nursery off of the website because stupid. Like you're trying to directly compete and outcompete their website. So why would they let you in the meantime continue to sell on it if you're already doing something that you said is going to be better than reborns.com? Your own words. That's going to be better, right? So why would they continue to allow her to sell and make money off of their site when she's trying to overthrow their site, basically? The example I used is, Target's not going to let Walmart come in and sell in their stores. They're directly competing with each other. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, I thought it was really, really funny that she seemed confused or upset that the owner of reborns.com removed her nursery. I was like, good. I'm so proud of him for doing that. Kick her off. Like, no, wouldn't be me leaving you on my site with that kind of attitude of trying to ruin my site that I built after so many years. Um, but yeah, so people are doing some strange things in the reborn world, essentially. Um, but yeah, I also wanted to brief you guys. I'm going to make an actual video about this. Hello, Jennifer. I am going to make an actual video about this because I'm still trying to collect responses. I want to get to 200 responses. So I have a poll, and it is posted, and I'm gonna post it again on my community tab. Sorry, got a hiccup. I'm gonna post it on my community tab, but I have a reborn collector poll that I've been getting responses on. And the reason for that is I want to kind of shift the narrative surrounding reborn dolls in a positive way, because we always get these like very, very extreme videos that news people will do on us, and it makes the community look more extreme than it is. Like they get the most extreme members of this community to do these interviews. And by that, I mean it's people who actually fully treat these dolls like they're real. And that is not most of us collectors. People role play, but they know their dolls are not real and they're not role playing typically all day. We're most of us are adults that have like jobs and actual like living families, and we have things to do. Vast majority of us are not just focused solely on the dolls. And I think by collecting this information, and it's all anonymous, by the way, I will not see any of your identifying information. None of your emails are attached to it. I set it up that way so people can be honest on it. Um, and so far, I have like over 150, I think, responses, but I really, really want more. I want at least 200 responses so I can start to graph this information. So it asks like your age range, why you primarily collect the reborns. Do you think reborns are necessary? Because that information I'm collecting from that question is specifically I'm going to be using to make a new video about the responses, because right now the responses are what I expected, which most people don't think that reborns are a necessity, like a need, like I must have these to live type situation. So very, very exciting things going on right now behind the scenes, which is also why I haven't been making a video, because I'm trying to wait for those responses to get to a point where I feel like this is enough data to make a video about. Um, so far, a lot of my predictions about the data have been confirmed, which is nice because I've been saying these things for years. Like I've been saying for years that I think people are mostly between these age groups, and so far that's true. And for years I've been saying that I think most collectors at this point, they might have started off collecting for a different reason and end up now they're just collecting because they like the dolls. So that's also a question on that poll as well. Why are you collecting reborns now, not why you started? Because a lot of people did start for sad reasons, but I think most people now are not um, collecting for sad reasons anymore. Um, so I hope that makes sense. But yes, that poll I have posted and I will keep posting. Um, because I think this is important information. I think sharing this information, even if it doesn't reach a whole bunch of people, hopefully it'll reach one or two people who will change their minds about thinking that reborn doll collectors are insane out of their brain because they saw like a BuzzFeed video about it. Um, yeah, yeah. Oh, so excited. Jennifer, that is so exciting. I hope you like them. I heard that they're actually decent, the silicones from Ashton Drake. So this is Vito. Like I said, I have like the worst lighting when it comes to on video. He looks absolutely insane when I'm live, but he's painting so well, y'all. And I'm very excited. I will be finishing him soon. Probably over the weekend, but I'm gonna do like one more skin tone layer on him, and then move on to his final details. I didn't want to make him super dark, so he's gonna be a nice like medium brownie tone. Like I don't know how to explain how his I guess golden, caramel golden is typically how I describe the tone that I'm going for on him. And then he's gonna have these curly curls, and I'm so excited to finish him. And I have bought so much for him, like because the my local Walmart was having a sale for $1 per item, which is as cheap as you can pretty much get. So I bought him and like my dolls that I'm going to send home different like things for $1. I never have enough pants, so that's what I mostly bought was just a bunch of pants that I could find. These are 0 to 3 months. But they're really cute. They're like little cargo jean pants, and they were $1, brand new. And then I also got 2 pairs of these for each was $1, like I said. This is 6 to 9 months. This is for a bigger baby I'm gonna be working on. I'm finally gonna be doing a Jalen after I sell Vito. So that's for that doll. And then same thing with these 6 to 9 pants. if Jalen looks girly, these will go home with Jalen. And I also have a little cute little sweatshirt. I think this is, yeah, also for Jalen. If not, I'll be making more bigger babies, so it'll be used for that. But what did I, yeah, I have a lot. I just have a lot for Vito because I got so excited. It's so fun to shop for a toddler, and that's why I wish there was more sleeping toddlers because I had a toddler before that I painted for myself. It was actually the first one, and then I ended up selling it because I got like sick of it, and I didn't think that I thought it was too big for my liking, and now I'm changing my mind again, and I'm like maybe I would have liked to keep that toddler. Uh, but that kit is still available, so I can literally go and buy it and paint it again for myself. It was like I said earlier, the Ariana asleep. I could just paint it for myself again. And then if I feel the same way again now that I have more space, because when I painted that toddler before and I was like, oh, it's too big, I didn't have a lot of space. Like now I have a whole separate. This is my whole separate doll room, so it's very. I'm in a very very different environment now as far as my living situation. So yeah, Vito, look for Vito. Vito will be done very soon. And like I said, my customs are still open, and now I'm starting to consider opening my custom for toddlers. But if I do get customs for toddlers, they have to have bent legs, please. I will not be doing any straight leg toddlers for the time being because I can't, like in my mind, comprehend how to set up their legs if they're standing. Like I can't. I don't know how they would fit in my oven currently with standing legs. With Vito, he is perfectly great, um, because his little chunky legs are bent. I chose the sitting Vito, which I like anyway, and plus I think the sitting ones are more, I don't know, posable, because they don't have to like really lean against things, and you don't need armatures for them. I like the sitting toddlers. I plan on taking him to the park to take his final pictures. I'm gonna look insane because it's a doll, but maybe people won't know it's a doll actually. Um, but I'm gonna put him in a. I hope to put him in like a little swing set if they're available, um, and take really cute pictures of him. I'm excited to be doing a toddler. But yeah, so that's what's coming up next. And then I also, like I showed y'all earlier, I'm working on the 1/4 limb baby Jamie because everyone has been asking me to do more awake dolls, and Jamie has beautiful little lips, and I thought that people would enjoy my version of Jamie. Plus I personally really like the 1/4 limb dolls because they're so posable and you still get the hands and feet. I think they're the best of both worlds personally. So that's why I chose Jamie. Uh, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? I have quite a few kits in stock, so I'm always working on something. The wake toddlers with neutral faces are nice. What my problem with a lot of toddlers are right now is a lot of them they make the faces look so grown up. I don't know, like they don't look. When I think of toddler age, I typically think of like 2 years old, 1 to 2 years old. Um, and a lot of these toddlers, unfortunately, they look older. When I look at their faces, they look 4 years old, and that's weird to me. That's why I like Vito because I think Vito looks like a toddler, like the two little teeth, very little cute little toddler. I think Vito is one of the few that looks like a toddler. Um, at least to me. That's why that's what I'm struggling with because I do want to paint more toddlers, like I said, but a lot of them just look like weirdly adult like on small bodies. And it gives me the creeps. It really does. I'm not a fan. I don't take them to the park that often, honestly, because I'm usually busy on the weekends painting them. But as the weather gets warmer again, I do want to try to take them out more when I do my photo shoots for them. I do want to try to do that. Like I have a place where the overlook is so beautiful that I think I'm gonna also take Vito to try to do like a little picnic scene with him. I think that would be really cute. I already have like a basically a picnic blanket, and I think that would be really cute photo shoot to have him holding food and for his pictures. I don't know. I have big plans for now that I'm making bigger babies and that the weather is getting nicer. And I live in such a beautiful place in along the Blue Ridge. I'm in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it's just so gorgeous that I feel like I'm slighting people in my pictures because all my pictures are usually inside because of the lighting. And what I want to do more now is do half outside and like half inside because the thing about dolls of color is they have to have good lighting for their skin tone to come across correctly. And so that's why all of my pictures are done with my photography lights inside because that's what the most accurate skin tone is going to be is inside with the photography lights. But yeah, I think again, like you said, I'm gonna try to still do more pictures outside because people have been asking. Hopefully, Vito will be ready to go to. You're going to. Oh wait, I think have I talked to you about this already? Are you going to the? You're going to. Are you going to the Dolls of the World in Raleigh? Because I'm 100% going to be there. Like me and my friend, who's also my coworker, we've been talking about it now for months. She's excited to see the Reborn World. She's not a Reborn collector or artist. She's tagging along, kind of just to support me. So I'm very excited to drag her along. It's gonna be a good time. I think she's gonna really enjoy it. She's an artist, but not a reborn artist. She's a different type of artist. Oh, okay. Yes, yes. Okay. I get so thrown off by people. I know people by nursery names, but not their actual names. So this is also going to be interesting to meet people at the doll show because this happened to me last time I was at a doll show in 2019 in Rose. People were coming up to me saying hi Sean and like talking to me and I was like, "Who are you?" And then they would say their nursery name and then I would go, "Oh." Cuz I mean, like people don't typically I don't know unless you're close, you don't typically say your name. You know, it's so silly, but I had to have them say their nursery names for me to recognize who they were. And a lot of people in the reborn, like a lot of reborn artists are like shy and they don't show their faces either. So I'm like, who are you? Like literally, who are you? Who are you? So I think that's a lot of fun about doll shows as well, is you actually get to see the artists, like the actual artists themselves and their names and like I don't know. Um, I think that is really fun with the doll shows. So I miss that. I miss doing that. So I am like extremely, extremely excited to have a doll show in the same state as me, so I don't really have to go that far. Plus, I'm not even driving. My coworker's driving. So I was like, "Do you want to drive?" I don't really want to drive to Raleigh. I was like, "I don't know about driving," because last time I was in Raleigh, the people were driving like crazy, and I was like, "Oh, I'm still a new driver." Like May will mark my second year of driving, and I was like, "Oof, I don't know if I wanna drive around Raleigh." But she's already said she's gonna drive, so that took that away from me, and that way I have a designated driver. But y'all, like I said, I'm so excited. I'm gonna try to get a group of people to all go to the mall together. I wanna see us as a group go and get some drinks if you're of age. Hopefully, most of us will be of age at that time because the hotel, especially the hotel where we're staying at, which is literally 3 minutes walking distance. I already tracked it. It's like 0.2 miles from the actual show hotel. It was a fraction of the price. Um, where we're staying is right next to a place that sells like mixed drinks and stuff like margaritas. It sells what are those called? Daiquiris, pina coladas. I love pina coladas, so I want to get a group of us to go over there because that way people who are staying at any of the nearby hotels, you don't have to I mean, you don't have to call an Uber or anything or drive drunk cuz you're walking distance from your hotel room so you can stumble home or stumble back to your room after we I guess get lit. So I think I'm trying to as time gets closer, I would love to do a group chat with people that are going so that we can get it together and get some plans going because we're only a few months away now at this point. I mean, we're about to be like before you know it, we're gonna blink and we're midway through March and the show is in June. So that's like what 2.5 months, something like that. So I'm trying to be the organizer of this. But me and my friend, we already said we going to that bar. We going right on over. Shoot, we gonna get us some drinky drinks, and we're gonna have a good time because it's the weekend and it's a doll show. Show. She might be going. You're gonna put a face reveal now on Instagram? Yes, please. I'm like, please, people, show your faces. Thank you. Um, I can't wait for a doll show to come my way. For now, I'll be watching online. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be posting. Don't worry, I'll be posting. I'll be live. I'll be posting videos while I'm there. You better believe I'm gonna be documenting this doll show just like I did for Rose. Yeah. Uh, and especially because I mean I knew I obviously I knew the runners of the Rose Doll show as well. Like they knew who I was. I knew who they were when I went there. But I really I enjoy the person who's putting on this doll show in Raleigh. She's very nice, sweet woman. So um yeah, it's gonna be nice to see her in person and to kind of hang out with her and see how her doll show goes. It's very exciting. Um, but yeah, I will be like posting like crazy all up on social media because I'm just that excited. Like, how crazy is it that finally, when things are starting, like things are pretty much back to normal with COVID, right? Knock on wood. But now, how crazy is it that things are finally going back to normal? That there's going to be a doll show in the same state as me. Like the timing, uh, could not literally be more perfect than having a doll show in the same state as you. Like that is perfect. 3 hour drive. Are you kidding me? In fact, oh, I'm going to make a separate video about this, but I mentioned this prior and I'm going to keep mentioning it. But people who order a custom around that time from me, I will be offering discounts if you want to come and pick it up from my hotel instead of paying shipping or whatever. I will be offering some significant discounts for those who just want to pick up their baby from me in person. Because I'm not going to be a vendor at the actual show. And I don't think it's really violating anything because I'm not even saying I'm going to be selling outside in the hallway of the doll show. I'm literally like, hey, come pick up your custom order. Um, I don't think there's really anything wrong with that morally. I'm like, because like I said, my friend is driving and it's a 3 hour drive, so we can pile as many dolls up in her car as we need to because her car is like a nice size. So we can pile up as many babies as we want in that bad boy. Because it's just gonna be me and her driving. Um, so I think it makes more sense that if someone's going to be going to that show and wants a custom for me, hey, get you a discount, pick up your baby. So um how many layers of painting? What paints do you use? Depends on the doll. Don't have a direct answer for you. However, again, you can't really see his actual skin tone, but right now Vito has 5 layers. I use Genesis heat set paints. down for a group chat, and I'm in Charlotte. Oh, I lived in Charlotte for 10 years before moving up to the mountains. Listen, I don't miss Charlotte. I really don't. I couldn't. It was so hot down there. Miserable. I was miserable in Charlotte. I do miss some of the like activities, being able to hop on the bus and like go to the Noda and doing stuff like that. I do miss that, but I kind of like small town living anyway. So now I'm literally like real close to the border of Tennessee, which is why it's going to take me 3 hours to get to Raleigh. Um, God, I love the mountains. So I'm happier. I'm happier here than I was in Charlotte for sure. Um, what doll show is it? This doll show is called the why did Dolls of the World Expo. Dolls of the World Expo. There's a group on Facebook and there's a website. I think it's dollsoftheworldexpo.com. You'll see it. If you Google it, it'll come up with the website link, and that's pretty much it'll have all the information you need to know where it is, how to buy tickets. Tickets are going to be purchased in person. Um, I've already booked my hotel room. I'm ready to go. Like I booked my hotel room back in October because I wanted to get the best deal. And I did booking.com. If you guys want to save some money, booking.com. Look for those dates because the good thing about booking.com is you don't have to put down a deposit with a lot of their rooms. So I haven't paid anything for this hotel room for the both of us yet. Just in case something were to come up, you have all the way until 2 days before the show to cancel your reservation and get a refund. Well, not a refund because you didn't pay anything, but you have all the way up into 2 days before the actual show when you would check in uh, to not get charged anything. So, booking.com, if you guys are tentatively thinking about going to the show, like I said, it's Raleigh, North Carolina. Easy to fly in and out of. They have their own airport. Obviously, it's like the capital, and I know rooms are going fast. So, if like I said, if you're thinking about doing it, go ahead and book you one of those rooms that I'm talking about, where you don't have to pay anything down. And if something comes up, something comes up. Um, it's also not that expensive from most places on the East Coast, I found, to fly into North Carolina. Luckily, we're in one of the cheaper states to fly into, so I found that, like, I've been, like, looking at different flights for people, and it's not that bad. It's really not, especially if you buy this far in advance, your plane tickets, a lot of places you can get not refunds, but vouchers if you don't end up using your plane tickets. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to encourage more people to know about this show because I think it's going to be really exciting to have a nice doll show on the East Coast, especially the Southeast. We had the one in Orlando that is no longer happening. That's no longer a thing. So now we're having a new doll show on the East Coast again, and it's nice. There's also the Kansas doll show, but that's typically in the fall, and I can't do that one. Because it's in the fall, and that's when things are usually busy at work for me. So I won't be able to probably ever go to the Kansas show. But I maybe one day we'll go back to Utah and do Rose if they go back to their old venue. I'm not going to that gym venue that they did last year or whatever year that was. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I do need to do a layer on Vito and take a shower. Um, and yeah, I'll get ready for work tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. This week has flown by, feels like. Um, but yeah, I will talk to you guys. And like I said, I do have video plans coming up. I know it's been a while. It's because I've been doing things behind the scenes and really working hard, essentially. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.